Hey everyone, what is going on? Welcome to Focus AI. So, as I've said in earlier videos that there are different type of distances used in machine learning. So, I will discuss today the types of distances that we can use. So, that is a continuation of the KNN video that we have started. And in KNN, if you know, like they calculate the nearest neighbors based on some distances. So we will cover some basic distances that are used in the whole area of machine learning. Okay. So the first distance is the Minkowski distance. Now this is the very mathematical formula of the Minkowski distance. Now, this is the distance between two vectors xi and xj. Now, if you remember, these vectors xi and xj are nothing but the feature vectors that I have discussed. I gave an example considering the iris dataset, and there we have four-dimensional feature vectors. So this is one of the feature vectors, and this is one of the feature vectors. So we want to calculate the Minkowski distance between these two feature vectors. So this is the actual formula. So don't worry, I will go through the formula in details. So what it is doing, it is individually subtracting the elements of the vectors. So individual elements of these two vectors were subtracted and then it has been raised to the power p, and then it is summed over all the dimension, and then that whole sum has been raised to the power 1 by p. Okay, so if you remember, like we had feature vectors xi and xj, and both xi vector and xj vector had four elements in the iris dataset. If you remember that, it had four elements in the iris dataset. Okay, now each of the corresponding elements were subtracted. Then it has been raised to the power p, and then it is used to sum over all the subtracted elements, and then again raised to the power of 1 by p. So this is the mathematical notation of Minkowski distance. So now by the formula or by the bookish definition, Minkowski distance is defined as the similarity metric between two points in the normed vector space. Now here norm is defined as a function. So norm is nothing, it is, you can consider it as a function that assigns a strictly positive length to each vector in the vector space. Now the vector space is nothing but the Euclidean space where we can do vector operations. Okay. Now norm is defined as a function. So norm can be calculated on a vector and it assigns a strictly positive length to that vector. Now, zero vector is also a vector. This is an exception because it has a length of 0. So now this P, as I have mentioned, let me clear this out. This P is important. Due to this P, this norm vector space has been defined. So Minkowski distance is a very general distance and it is called a LP norm. Okay. Now, if I go to the second distance metric, which is called as the Euclidean distance. So Euclidean distance is a special form of Minkowski distance because here you're considering P as 2. Okay, we're considering P as 2. Now we replaced P by 2. Here also we replaced P by 2. Now this is a two-dimensional vector space where A is a vector, two-dimensional vector, and B is a two-dimensional vector. Okay. And if we want to calculate the Euclidean distance, this is the straight line distance between these two vectors. So I have mentioned it, I think you have guessed correctly. Now it is actually the distance we calculate from the Pythagoras theorem. This is actually the hypotenuse. Okay, so now we can calculate, or you can use the Pythagoras distance the Pythagoras theorem, not the distance, Pythagoras theorem to calculate the Euclidean distance between this vector A and vector B. So as the P has been substituted by 2, so this is also called as L2 norm. Okay. Now if I go to the third distance, which is the Manhattan distance. Okay. Again, it is one of the special form of Minkowski distance. Okay. Here we are substituting P equals to 1. Okay. Now, Manhattan distance is not the straight line distance like the Euclidean one. It's something like a grid-like distance. Okay, so it is also called like city block distance. Now, if you see this grid position, now consider each of these grid conjunction as an individual house. Okay, these dots I am showing you here are individual house. And now say you have to go from house A to house B. Okay, so you have to go from house A to house B. So if there are no roads in between, you cannot go directly straight in a straight line, because there would be like some other houses, some other apartments would be there. So you cannot, I mean, it's not always possible to have a road which covers the exact straight line distance from a point A and a point B. So we have to do, or we have to go through some grid path. So this grid path is actually called, or this particular distance is called the Manhattan distance, or also sometimes called as city block distance. Okay. Now as P has been substituted by 1, it is called as L1 norm. Okay. So now if someone asks you what is L1 norm, L2 norm, L3 norm, or LP norm, you can say Minkowski is the general form, which is called the LP norm. Then substitute P by 2, it would become Euclidean distance. Substitute P by 1, it would become Manhattan distance. Clear? Okay. Now there is another kind of distance which is called cosine distance and cosine similarity. Now it is very similar. Like here you can see we have, just a minute, yeah, we have three vectors, vector A, vector B, and vector C. These are two-dimensional vector for the simplicity. These three are two-dimensional vector in the vector space. Okay, so this YOLO thing is, you can think like as a vector space, and this A, B, C are two-dimensional vector. Now, what is cosine similarity? It is the cosine of the angle between two vectors. So the cosine similarity between vector A and vector B is the cosine of the angle between these two vectors. So cos of theta 1 is the cosine similarity between A and B. Between A and C, what is the cosine similarity? Cos theta of 2. Okay. So the formula of cosine similarity is just the cos theta, the cosine of the angle between two vectors. And what is the cosine distance? 1 minus cos theta. So now cosine distance and cosine similarity are inversely proportional to each other. And it makes sense. Like if the distance is more, then the similarity is less. And if the distances are close, then the similarities are high. Distance are less, then the similarities are high. Isn't it? So from the basic mathematics, we can say that the cosine similarity belongs to a closed interval of -1 to +1. So the lower bound is -1 and the upper bound is +1. Cosine similarity cannot go beyond these two values. Okay. Now, two dissimilar vectors will have cosine similarity approaching to 1. Why? Because say you have one vector here and you have another vector here. So what is the angle between, or the cosine of the angle? It's 180 degree, and cos 180 is -1, right? And say this is your vector C and there is say, another vector D. Now what is the angle between, the cosine of the angle between this vector C and D? It's 0 degree, so it's 1. So they are very much similar. So if there are two dissimilar vectors, they will approach to -1, or their cosine similarity, to be specific, will approach to -1. And if there are two similar vectors, their cosine similarity will approach to +1. Okay. So what we have learned Minkowski distance, Euclidean distance, a special form of Minkowski, Manhattan distance or city block distance, which is also a special form of Minkowski distance, and this cosine distance and cosine similarity, right? So now there is an obvious question like when to use each of the distances. Now, specifically, all the distances used in various fields of machine learning. Now, the Manhattan and the Euclidean distances used in both regression and classification. So, as I have mentioned in my earlier video, while calculating the nearest neighbors or k nearest neighbors, I said that we have to calculate the distance. So, you can either use Euclidean distance or you can use Manhattan distance. Either of them is fine for KNN. Now, there is a catch, that is Euclidean distance does not perform well due to the curse of dimensionality. Okay, so now this is a special term, curse of dimensionality. I have a separate video on this. You can go and check out that video for the better clarity. But just in a one line, Euclidean distance cannot perform well on higher dimensions. Like in the case of iris data, we have only 4 dimension, right? Or 4 features in a single feature vector, right? That is the dimension. The 4 dimensions were there. So this is fairly low dimension. You can use cosine distance, you can use Manhattan distance. But in real life, you might ever that you will face like there will be like thousands or even tens of thousands of features. So those are high dimensional vectors or high dimensional features. So it's better to avoid Euclidean distance and use Manhattan distance instead, because Manhattan distance is linear in nature. There is no exponent term like Euclidean or other higher degrees of Minkowski, because the p-value is 1, so it's a linear in nature. So it can be used in high dimensional data, and also it has a use detecting outliers. Okay, so I will cover more things on outliers. It's a separate tutorial, like how to detect outliers, how to handle outliers. So anyway, just for the time being, you can think like Manhattan distance is useful in high dimensional data as well as pointing outliers, because it is linear in nature. And cosine similarity is mainly used in recommendation systems. Like if you don't know what is recommendation system, it's very simple. Like in any kind of Amazon, Flipkart, like these e-commerce companies, when you buy things, you get a kind of recommendation that okay, if you want to buy this mobile phone, this is a kind of cover you can buy, this is the kind of headphone you can buy. So this is called recommendation system. So cosine similarity is mainly used on recommendation system and to calculate the similarity of textual data. So if two textual data are similar or not, to find that we can use cosine similarity. Okay, so this is all the distances that we have covered. So let's go and check like how we can implement all this thing in Python. Okay, just a minute. Yes, let me zoom a little bit so that it will be easier for you to understand and view. Okay, so now if you don't know what is this, this is actually Google Colab. So it's a Python editor, or kind of you can say like a Jupyter notebook, which is hosted in Google server, and they are providing you a free CPUs and GPUs and hard drives to work on machine learning problems. So it's a fine thing by Google. It's a fine editor by Google. I often use this for my personal task also. So if you don't have a good system, a good laptop, and you don't have a good CPU or RAM or GPU or VRAM, you can use Google Chrome. It's fairly easy to understand how to use Google Chrome, and it's similar to like Jupyter Notebook if you have seen one. If you don't know what is Jupyter Notebook, you can just think like it is something like a Python editor where you can interactively execute Python cells and you can see the results in it. Okay. So this is Google Colab. I always recommend you to use it, and it's fairly simple to use. Okay, so the first thing is that the import part. So I'll import NumPy because I have to create two vectors. So here I am creating two vectors. This is xi and xj. Whatever I have shown you there. So if you see, so this is xi. We have to calculate the distance between xi and xj, right? So that's what I'm doing. So I'm calculating, or I'm creating two vectors of dimension 4, xi and xj. So you can see, like, I have printed. So this is the first dimension, this is the second, third, and fourth. So this is xi and this is xj. Once it has been created, now I am defining the Minkowski distance, because once I can define the Minkowski distance, I can calculate Euclidean distance, I can calculate Manhattan distance, right? So what is the way I can define Minkowski distance? So Minkowski distance takes three things. One is I'm just sorry. Yeah. Okay. So Minkowski distance takes one vector v1, another vector v2, because it calculates the distance between two vectors. So two vectors are the input, and the value of p that we have discussed, right? P equals to 1, that is Manhattan distance. P equals to 2, that is Euclidean distance, right? So it is taking two inputs, v1, v2, and p. So now first what I am doing, I am calculating the difference and getting the absolute value. Once this has been done, I will do the power, that is to the power p. Once that has been done, I will do the sum, the summation. Then what I will do, again I will do the power, now raised to the power 1 by p, and that is the distance measured. So if you didn't understand, let me show you the formula again. So first what I calculated, first I calculated the difference, then I did the absolute value. Okay, these two vertical lines are actually calculating the absolute value. Then what I am doing, raised to the power of p. Then what I am doing, summation against all the dimension, and then again finally to calculate the distance, raising to the power 1 by p. This is the simple thing I have done here also. So first I have calculated the absolute difference. Then I have calculated raised to the power p. Then I have calculated the sum over all the dimension, and then I have calculated raised to the power 1 by p and getting the distance measured, right? So once this is done, we can calculate the Euclidean distance, right? So just call Minkowski distance and provide p equals to 2, because when p equals to 2, it is the Euclidean distance. So we'll get the Euclidean distance value, right? Okay. Now we can use the same function to calculate Manhattan distance. How? Just provide the two input vectors. Okay, sorry. Just provide the two input vectors and provide p equals to 1. Then the Manhattan distance will be calculated. Okay. Now the thing is that in real life, in a real project, you don't have to write this whole formula and then you have to calculate these distances, because Python gives you high level libraries, and one of the libraries is SciPy. So you have to just import from scipy.spatial import distance. It has all the distances we have covered till now. Okay, so we can calculate the Euclidean distance. How? Just we have to call distance dot Euclidean and just pass xi and xj. It will just give you the Euclidean distance. Similarly, we can calculate the Manhattan distance. Now, the name of the Manhattan distance is not exactly same. It is the city block, as I have mentioned, because it's observed from. I mean, the Manhattan distance has been discovered from the area of the city. The way the one I have shown you, like you have to go from one apartment to another apartment in a city, in a grid-like area, right? So that's why the name is city block. Then provide the input vectors and it will give you the Manhattan distance. Okay. Now the cosine distance and the cosine similarity. Now in the distance, if you call cosine method and pass the input vectors xi and xj, you will get the cosine distance. So the cosine distance is 0.173. Just to calculate the cosine similarity, just subtract cosine distance from 1. You will get the cosine similarity. Okay. So now you can see like the less the cosine distance, more the similarity. So this inverse relationship is very much clear from this output. Okay. So yes, so this distance we have learned so many things. If you didn't understand, go and practice all these things. I will provide this collab notebook link in the description video. You can easily download that and you can do your practice. You can play with this notebook. Okay. So the distance portion has been covered. Now we will go to the codes and the nitty-gritty details of the k-nearest neighbor algorithm. So okay, so this is the end of this video. Have a good day. Thanks a lot. Happy machine learning.